Welcome to AgencyRise, the podcast where digital marketing agencies rise together. I'm your host, Chris Rudolph. I've spent the last decade coaching digital agency founders, helping them scale, systemize operations, and break free from the day-to-day grind. On this podcast, we talk about what really moves the needle for agencies: getting clients, building a team, creating systems, productivity, focus, and freedom. So there's no hype here, no guru nonsense, just real conversations from the agency trenches. So today's guest is Cheryl O'Hern, founder and CEO of Spin Market and Digital. She is a seasoned marketer with over 30 years experience helping small businesses grow through strategy, systems, and now custom-built AI workforces, a unique bridge between traditional digital marketing and the future of scalable agency delivery. So Cheryl, welcome to the podcast.
Well, thank you so much for having me. This is exciting. I haven't been on a podcast for a while, so I needed to freshen up my podcast experience.
Awesome. So for those of you that may not be familiar with you, tell us a little bit more about you and your agency.
Well, we're a digital marketing agency, as Chris said, located in Fort Dodge, Iowa, Midwest, where everything happens, right? And we do a variety of products, services. We produce podcasts. And I was just talking to Chris about, we have one, How to Money with Cole and Cole, that just hit 100 podcasts, which we all know is about less than 15% of all podcasts make it to 100 episodes.
That's right.
It was very exciting when we got to that. And we do several other different podcasts, work a lot with economic development projects, have a couple of different economic development groups that we are actually doing their marketing for. Just started a new program with banks to provide for somebody coming in for a commercial loan. We'll go in and put together their marketing analysis, their competitors, just all that information there, and put together a possible budget for their marketing for the first 12 months so that they have something realistic instead of saying, oh, I allocated $500 for a website. I'm sure that's going to be more than enough. Uh,
Yeah.
and then get the rude awakening that that's not close at all. And then also the banks then have something tangible that they can look at and see, who their competition is, see, what their competition is doing, what they need to do for their marketing and what projected ROI. So that's a new service that we're doing with several banks. It's been very well received out there.
I love that.
Yeah. And then we do, of course, the normal digital agency stuff, websites, that type of thing, and graphic design, video, photo projects as well. Just got done doing a Nestle Purina 50th anniversary video that we're really excited. You can go online. Nestle's is using it all over. Nestle Purina, they had a 50th anniversary here in Fort Dodge. And so we were
Oh, wow.
doing a video for them at a big event. And yeah, very exciting. So lots of diversity. I also sit on several boards. And as Chris has said, AI Workforce, that's one group that I'm on that people all over the world meet every week, every Wednesday. And we go over AI Workforce and what AI can do to take care of some of those things internally within a business that nobody really likes to do, but need to be done and need to make sure that they're always done and done correctly and save money on it. It is the world that we're in. AI is something that every business, if you're not already looking at it, you're going to be behind in just a few months.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, tell us a little bit about your story of how you got here. And it doesn't have to be the polished version. Feel free to include like pivots, mistakes, or moments that have really shaped your agency.
We've had a lot of pivots, AI is a big pivot on there, trying to get everybody on that one. To be honest with you, I was in the corporate world for years in sales, and kids are grown, they're off to college and or done college, and I just told my husband, I'm done. I turned in my resignation, and what are you going to do? Don't know. And started out with a small little one-room office where doing marketing, because I'd done a lot of stuff with businesses out there and knew that it was really hard for them to figure out. They couldn't afford to hire somebody to be full-time to do their marketing, but they needed direction and help. And that was how it all started, with one little office.
Hmm.
And today now we have just had somebody come in the other day and they go, oh my goodness, you've really grown. I don't remember everything being we added on and have done quite a bit of stuff. So they were really amazed. I forgot how much you forget how much
Right.
you've done over the years. You think that you're going to have plenty of room, and before you know it, you have to add offices and all that other good stuff.
Yeah. So I know not many in the agency world went to school for the thing that they do today. So I'm curious, like, what your education experiences were before you started your agency.
Didn't go to school. Have never been to college. Never taken a college course. Never. Just worked myself through the trenches. I call it the University of hard work. And yeah, I learned, like I said, worked in the corporate world and with a couple of jobs. Started out at the front desk as a receptionist, and then worked my way up into upper management. So again, it's what's driven us here, even at Spin Market, and that's where I think our clients really appreciate it because I've been in the corporate world and I've been in the business owner world. And so I have a real well rounded experience out there of working with a lot of different people, a lot of different organization, understanding the dynamics behind what a small business owner goes through. Can't, and you have to live it before you can really talk to somebody about what they need to do in their
Yeah.
business.
Yeah, that's a really good point because I think sometimes as marketers, if we're just like in our own world of all of the
Yep.
AI and the SEO and and that's the only language we use. A lot of times the decision makers and the companies and organizations that we serve can be intimidated by that or they don't
Mhm.
understand that. But I think that's really, you bring up like having that experience. It's got to be so valuable. And you get to give them leadership and guidance like you said, like from your experience, like you've been in their seat or a
Mhm.
similar seat
Yep.
along the way.
Yeah, and there's probably nothing you can say or do that I haven't already seen happen over the years in a variety of ways. And I grew up on a farm, that's hard work. My father milked cows. What an work ethic that went through. My husband has a farming company and a trucking company. And so, we've got the small business on that end as well. And you just really, in the working with clients, they get to I really can give them a much better idea as to what they need to expect, their expectations. I think because I've been there and I understand what it takes and how long it takes, not as much as we would want to say within 1 year we're profitable, that's probably not going to happen because there's a lot of work before you even get to be profitable. And you may not be, even make a paycheck for a while.
Yeah, that's I think you bring up a really key point. Do you have any like tips or steps that you use to set expectations with clients that's effective? Because I think that's a lot of times like a blind spot for other agency founders out there.
I would say to that, Chris, what really works in that area is asking a lot of questions. Really just asking questions and getting to know their business up front and asking questions and making them think. Because if you start asking questions that go, oh, I hadn't thought about that. Okay, well then that means we need to do this. My kids always say, Mom asks way too many questions. And no, that's how you find out. That's how you get that information you need because they don't know what they don't know. If you're gonna talk SEO with client, you're not out there. They don't know what SEO is, search engine optimization. You say that to them, and they still don't know what it is. And sometimes SEO
Mhm.
people don't even know what it is.
Yes, yeah, that's true. I'm curious, like looking back on, the history of your agency, like what has been some of the biggest drivers of growth for your agency?
Podcast is done very well out there.
Mhm,
What's really nice about podcasting is you can do so much with it. You got your audio, your video, you've got your reels, you've got guests coming in. You can talk about whatever. And as Peter, our podcast production would say, is it humanizes your business. It really they get to know you when you're doing that podcast,
mhm,
as you I'm sure realize as well. Um, that's been very profitable for us. But also on top of that, really paying attention to what's going on out there and staying in touch, not only in the digital world, but with what businesses are doing and what they're seeing and how they're bridging themselves as far as pivoting.
mhm,
Went through COVID, all the changes that happened to them, where they were in 2019 and where they were in 2020 and 2022 and after COVID and all those things out there, a lot of understanding what they're going through and how we can help them has helped us make decisions as to what are we going to do, what are we going to focus on when we're working with our clients out there. Mine is the strategy. It's sitting down and making them think and putting it on paper and asking them to really analyze and think about what do they want, what do you want to do, and how do you want to grow, and do you even know who your customer is? How many
Mhm.
how many businesses have you talked to that you ask them, oh well, everyone's my customer. Well, no, they're not, because that's not, that's it's just not realistic on there, and you need to get them to understand who their customer is and then understand how to market to that customer.
And on the flip side, thinking of all the years of your agency, what have been some of the most painful lessons that you had to learn the hard way?
Not charging enough,
Mm.
not realizing how big of a project it is and quoting something and then coming back and going, "Well, we missed the mark on that one." And I
Yeah,
think
those
that's
are.
that's the hard part because we're not selling cookies. We're not selling where we know exactly how much each cookie cost. When you're doing marketing, there's just so many things that can happen that you may think that you're gonna go this direction and something else chart changes, and you just really it's never a dull moment.
Yes, yes. If you had to start your agency from scratch today, with what you know now, what would you do differently?
I would probably decide to keep not probably, I would pick 3 key things in the marketing world that I would start with, and then see how they go and how it works instead of trying to do everything all at once. Because I can see in times where we probably shouldn't have taken on as much as what we did just because it was brought to us and we wanted to do it. You need to also understand what you can really get done and what's going to make you a profit on it in the long run.
Yeah, I think you bring up a really interesting point, and I think that's a common thing for agency founders that I hear, and I love is like you're there to serve, like you want to help people, you want to help clients, but sometimes that means like sometimes in the wanting to help, you can step outside your area of specialty, or that, or something that could lessen your focus. But I think that's always a good thing to, I think, keep in the back of, of your mind. Yeah, like you have new needs and new things, and obviously in this day and age, like there's new tools and platforms and new shiny things that
Well,
get released literally every week or daily.
we had just that brings up a perfect example of a guest we had here for the Alliance Connection. It was Joey Coleman. He's originally from Fort Dodge, but he lives in Colorado or Minnesota now, I believe. And he was in because he's going to be the keynote speaker at their Growth Alliance's annual dinner here at the end of February. And so we did a podcast to announce that he was going to be there. And we were standing out afterwards visiting about some stuff. And I was talking about some changes that Google had made that this individual was asking questions about. And Joey made that comment. He says, "Yeah," he says, "it's just amazing on marketing and trying to keep up with everything that's changing and being able to tell your clients about it, knowing that this another one that's not a client has no idea that that's something that's they need to pay attention to out there. It's the speed of it is just mind boggling on it.
Hmm.
And AI is part of it as well.
Yeah, for sure. When it comes to hiring and leading your team, like what's one piece of advice you would give to all the founders out there who are listening?
In all my years, one thing I've learned very much is lots of diversity in who you hire. Don't hire somebody that's like you. Find somebody that
Mm.
challenges you. Find somebody that has no fear. Well, to some extent, is willing to take on something and move forward and grow with it, take ownership of it, even though they don't really own it. But they, uh, be the one that was successful with it and the diversity on it, all different kinds of personalities, because that's what makes a team is the different personalities and understanding their strengths and their faults. What one can do really well, what another one can't, and don't expect this from the one that can't as much as what the one that can.
What trends are you leaning into here this next year?
Well, AI workforce would be what we're in the trends on right now in working with clients to understand what they can do and how they it's not going to get somebody to lose their job necessarily. It takes a tedious, as long as it's repetitious and tedious and that type of thing, it's a perfect job for an AI workforce. So an example would be like AI having HR assistant, an AI HR assistant out there, that assistant is able to answer an employee's question on how much PTO they have, or what does their health insurance cover, or did I need to change my, my taxing information on for payroll, can you, and then have that AI assistant take that information and then send it to the HR director, so they don't have to spend that time getting that information, and they didn't have to have a admin hired to do it as well. The admin can be doing things that are not so repetitious and still need to be done as well.
And I know you mentioned you earlier that you are on several local advisory boards. Like, how has that work influenced your agency strategy?
It keeps me fresh to know what's going on and what other businesses are doing and seeing out there, and trends that are there. And again, a lot of times I may not even talk during a board meeting. I may just be sitting there listening. What's going on? What do we see? What's moving the lever? What are other businesses doing? What are we seeing growth in? All of those things, as well as networking, so that I can go back to my clients and say, did you know that in Iowa you can be a certified targeted business and be able to get additional funding or a variety of things on it because you're a certified targeted business? And they go, no, nobody told me about that. Again, it's something that I've learned because I was at a meeting that was there. It was one of the topics.
Yeah, I love that. Like additional ways that you can add value, I think is a really key
Yes.
part of an
Oh,
agency. You want to be more than just the sum of the services that you offer, but I really say you want to be their trusted advisor or their
yeah.
growth advisor. Or I see that in a lot of different industries, whether it's a graphic designer who maybe is designing website or different materials. If you can add a branding component and help the client understand like who their ideal customer or client
Yep.
is, are just value add. So I love how you brought up, things that are like some of that might not technically fall under the umbrella of marketing, but you become more than just a service provider.
Exactly. You get to be a trusted partner on their business, and
Yeah.
that's what we try to. We want to be a trusted partner and really add that added value. I don't get anything out of sending them to be a certified targeted small business in the state, but it could open all new windows for them in a certain situation.
That's good. All right, so what's one tool or piece of software that you can't live without?
One tool, software, Chat GTP.
Okay. And what's one daily habit that helps you be more effective?
Get up in the morning and look at my schedule and just take a deep breath, depending on how the day is. But yeah, just really focusing in on what has to be done that day and get yourself moving and motivated.
Awesome. One book or mentor who has impacted you the most?
Ooh, that's a hard one. And then rapid. I'm not much of a book reader. By Joey Coleman. I love how his customer service, how he demonstrates to everybody how to provide customer service. That's who.
And one piece of advice you'd give agency founders who are listening right now?
Be patient. Work really hard to educate your customers, your clients out there, so that they understand the highs and lows of marketing, and what don't oversell and make their expectations unrealistic out there, because things can change very quickly.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Cheryl, what's the best place online to learn more about you and your agency?
Well, of course, spinmarket.com, and market has two Ks. So it's spinmarket with two Ks.com. That's our website. Of course, we're on every social media platform that there is out there as well: LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. Well, I guess it's not Twitter anymore. It's X, Google Business Profile page, anywhere at all. And of course, our podcast, YouTube. Go to YouTube and see our podcasts, as well as all the ones that we produce for other clients out there.
Awesome. Well, Cheryl, this has been great. Thanks so much for coming on the podcast today.
Well, thank you, and say hello to everybody in Hawaii for me while I'm
Yes.
here in Iowa. Okay.
And for everyone tuning in from the gym, in your car, or at your desk, thanks for joining us. If this episode was helpful for you, be sure to subscribe and share it with another agency founder who needs to hear it, because agencies don't rise alone, they rise together. This is Agency Rise.